Panorama investigates an unhealthy addiction to video games on tonight's Sign Zone in a few minutes. First on BBC One and BBC One HD, how's it looking out on the slopes? Skiing weather now with John Hammond.
Hello there, you may have been able to ski from your own back door recently, but let's go further afield for the first of this year's skiing weather forecasts. And the good news is that at many of our most popular resorts there's plenty of snow to go around and conditions will stay favourable through this weekend. For example, Engelberg have had 30 centimetres recently, Mammoth over in the US 41 centimetres. But let's start off in Europe. Conditions are set to remain favourable in most places, with further fresh snowfall expected for the Eastern Alps in particular as low pressure slides down from the north. We're expecting a further heavy snowfall for this part of the world. Further west though, some dry spells, and indeed for the Pyrenees as well, where hopefully things will cool down. It's been rather mild here in recent days. Let's get into some details, starting off in Scandinavia, where we're not expecting that much in the way of fresh snowfall, but very low temperatures indeed. The cold weather continues here. Somewhat higher temperatures expected for Scotland, but there's plenty of snow on the ground now and it's not going to disappear in a hurry, so some good conditions for skiers in Scotland. I mentioned it's been quite mild recently across the Pyrenees. Temperatures just easing down, but not much in the way of fresh snowfall here just yet. However, for the Alps, particularly the Eastern Alps, as I mentioned, there will be plenty of snow to come and quite a blustery wind as well. Down across Bulgaria, not much in the way of fresh snowfall just yet. Of course, St Anton is not great for beginners. For advanced skiers, plenty of good skiing to come, with most of the lifts already open. 84 lifts in total, 50 are already open. La Thuile, though, is good for beginners, and the great news is that there's been plenty of snowfall recently, even on the lower slopes. So the nursery slopes will be well topped up with fresh powder snowfall, and again, many of the lifts are already open. This is a list of resorts and the amount of fresh snowfall we've seen recently. Top of the shop, Sestriere, over ½ metre of snow just in the last day or so. And the piste conditions generally for so early in the season are very good indeed. Cairngorm, for example, back home in Scotland, seeing excellent skiing conditions. Through Saturday, that more persistent snow clears away from the Eastern Alps. It's the gusty wind which we'll have to take account of through the rest of the weekend. That could be a player for the World Cup action in Val d'Isère. There'll be plenty of sunshine, but it will be quite cold in that wind. The men's giant slalom and slalom taking place through the 11th and 12th over there in Val d'Isère. Now let's go to North America, where again we've seen some excellent conditions for so early in the season. Of course, it's been very warm recently across the eastern states, eastern parts of Canada, but even here it's turned colder recently, and developing low pressure system is set to bring a major storm of snow across the Great Lakes in towards those ski resorts across the eastern parts of Canada and the US, so plenty of fresh snowfall here. Further west, things will warm up just a touch, but it's going to stay pretty favourable, I think, for many of our resorts through Saturday, north to south. Some snow flurries, but predominantly dry and sunny. The wind's not too strong either, so all in all, a pretty good weekend to be venturing out. And many of our resorts are opening their season this weekend, so the season gets off to a great start. So for Fernie, where it's usually pretty cold, I'm expecting temperatures to lift up a little bit. Many of the lifts, as I say, are already open, and generally the piste conditions are excellent. For Squaw Valley, of course, that's where we've got lots of log huts. It's going to look very picturesque with copious amounts of snowfall, over 2 metres at the upper levels, and again skiing conditions really are quite excellent. Here's a list of fresh snowfall at many of our resorts. We've seen a lot recently, and there's plenty more to come, as I mentioned, across eastern parts of North America in particular. Killington already has excellent skiing conditions, and that can only stay excellent with all that fresh snowfall yet to come over the next few days. That's it. Of course, much more detail can be found by the Ski Club of Great Britain. Much more weather information, of course, can be found on our own website, bbc.co.uk/weather. That's it. Good night.
For you, it's a rush home to see the family. For her, it's a rush to hospital and a brain scan. Look at it from their point of view. For more ideas on how to make your home safe, contact your local Sure Start Children's Centre or call 0800 678 3388.
It is your turn to strictly get dancing. been having a rehearsal for a little dance routine.
We're about to dance a cha-cha for the BBC. This has been fantastic.
Looking forward to seeing myself.
It's brilliant.
Let's get started.
Come on, let's go. Saddle up.
I've never been this far away from home before.
I gotta get home. Home?
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go laughing.
Time to get moving.
Making our spirits rise. Oh, what fun it is to ride and sing a sleigh song tonight.
Ow! What was that?
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse.
The best films on BBC One. Everyone's home for Christmas.
The festive crime of turkey rustling on Countryfile in half an hour. Now on BBC One and BBC One HD, beginning tonight's Sign Zone with a gaming obsession in Panorama.